are the only pitcher in baseball history to have 220 strikeout games.
A new record. Clemens has set a major league record for strikeouts in a game.
He got him. He ties his own record.
Second 20 strikeout game. Your splitter was maybe one of the nastiest pitches I've ever seen in my life that game.
I don't know how Haas caught some of my split fingers that night. I tell everybody, if you want to see a split finger, watch that game.
You have a baseball with you. Let's go through your splitter grip and any other pitch grips that you want to show us.
Yeah, so always, whether they're, my oldest son teaches and does different things from 7-year-olds to professional players when they come to the house. And we just regrip the fastball for him too, where I don't know if you can see the seams or it might be hard to see the seams on this thing. I don't know why it's so bright. But the split is basically what a lot of the guys are doing now, Rob. They're some of the foreign players, they take their middle finger and they hook a seam. Either this side or they use their pointer and they hook a seam. And the problem with that is that when it comes out talking to different hitters, facing guys that throw this, it kind of not like a knuckleball, but it's got a different spin, and they're able to hit. The big league hitters are so good; they're able to. That's what they're looking for. On your slider, you got the little dime-looking dot, and this here kind of comes out like a knuckleball. So they're able to lay off of it unless it's up, unless they're looking up. Mine was I would just basically split it. It's not a fork ball, so there's a little gap right there in the back of my fingers. So it's not a fork ball.
And two-seam grip, I'm saying.
So it's a little gap there. And the other key thing is my thumb. Thumb underneath, it pretty much goes down. I sneak my thumb up to the side a little bit. It makes it go away from a left-hander. And it was a great pitch because you're seeing fat wrists come at you. So you're thinking you're getting 95 and you're getting 85. I did a thing with the Mythbuster guys a long time ago. And they did me in super, super slow motion to see if the ball came out tumbling or had backspin on it. And so it tumbles. And again, just a great pitch. I think in a 120 pitch game, which again, you might choke on your water when I say that, 120 pitches. Well, guys are throwing 120 pitches. They're just doing it in 4 innings. So the split, what came about when ESPN came around and really showing so many highlights, other hitters on other teams that we're going to be facing within the week, they would see 7-8 strikeouts on that split. So it became ingrained in their mind. 120 pitch game, I might throw 20 of them, in crucial situations. There might be guys like, I think I remember one time George Brett screaming at me because I threw him like 5 straight splits. Because he's that good, and I'm just not going to give in to him with a man on third base when the situation presented it. So, but the split was. I had a change up. I threw it a little bit, but the split was devastating, especially the second half of my career.
So one thing, in Japan, the splitter is like almost a national pitch now. Like everybody throws a splitter. They can make it go a bunch of different ways, kind of like you can. Like you did, is you figured out by toying with your thumb position how to make the ball go different ways. They have gyro splitters, stuff that spins more like a slider. They have splitters that'll go either way. Some that will look like a slider.
Like a chain.
Yeah. So, and here we kind of stopped throwing it for a period of time after a couple of guys got injured. Now we look back and go, well, you know what? It's really not that bad for you. And a matter of fact, it's a nasty pitch. So you're seeing more and more folks like Zach Wheeler, we talked about off camera, throwing it. It's funny how Japan has taken the lead in throwing a splitter or a fork ball, while we are now rediscovering that when you were a master of it way back when.
Yeah, so I went over twice, Team USA, to Japan to play over there, and my agents lined up a clinic where I probably had one of the clinics, at least 35 of their star pitchers in that league, and another time about 40 of them. For the most part, their hands aren't that big, so that's the positioning of it's really important. That's why some of it hook a seam, but when you hook that seam, you get that friction coming out, and that's where it tugs at your boat. So you got to be careful with that, number one. Number two is Otani, he's 6'5". He's got hands he can throw that deal with. The other thing you got to remember, their baseball is a little bit smaller. So you're able to work that ball a little bit different, a gyro, split, whatever they call it, almost like a screwball, if you will. So that's a difference too. There's been a couple times where I sat in on meetings when we were doing a posting fee on a Japanese player, and we made sure we brought a Major League Baseball that everybody in the room knew that he had been practicing with a Major League Baseball. And the seams are different. I mean, they pull these together. A human being puts these baseballs together in Costa Rica. So if they pull the seams too tight, you're going to have a ball that's harder and the seams are raised. And so that's why you'll see guys throw balls out of play automatically. Back in the day when we were pitching, the umpire had to rub up like 6 dozen, the home plate umpire, and they had this stuff called Mississippi mud. And if he grabbed the mud and he rubbed it too much, we'd always encourage him, please keep the mud out of the seams. These seams are the reason why they have all these spin rates and all this other stuff. The ball obviously is not going to spin if you got dirt in it, dirt on a ball. I mean, it's same thing when you get dirt on a golf ball. You got to guess which way it's going to jump off your face of your club. So that's why you'll see guys take baseballs and throw them out, because they'll get them back. Not so much these days because they don't use the mud. They use, I think, like an eraser to try and get the film off the ball.